Welcome to Patriarchy.com, where we help you become a more virtuous leader for your family. I'm Knowland, and on this channel, Daily Patriarchy, I answer all your questions in the comments in video form. I also document our progress towards strengthening society by rebuilding the patriarchy one family at a time. That's our mission. With 13 videos in and up to 555 subscribers, thanks to your support, make sure you're sharing this content with anybody you think might enjoy it. And also, leave your comments so we can get some conversations about family and patriarchy going. Now, for those of you who are more serious about growing in virtue, you might like to check out our coaching group, Marriage Mastery, up to 102 members. This is at $297 a month, so it's only for people who are really serious about fulfilling their potential as leaders. I also have my main channel, Will Knowland at Be Her Leader, 18.1k subs with lots of important content to help you develop in various areas in your marriage. Now, on to today's questions. So on this channel, we just got a couple of people helping out so we can boost the signal for the algorithm. Thank you, MBs, and also Phil Miller. Appreciate that. Perhaps leave a question about some of the content in those videos so we can get to know each other a bit better and I can help you out. Appreciate you watching though. So that's up to date with the comments on this channel. I'm going to move over to my main channel and take some comments from there. So if anything interests you about what we're discussing here, just drop a comment on this video and I'll get to it next video. So One Flew West mentions healing trust and sex drive after years of emotional difficulties in marriage. We are both doing so much better together, but scars remain. So patience is important, and you should also make sure you're having the right conversations about how trust has been broken, and make sure that you both understand how deep that pain goes so you have a realistic idea about how long it's going to take to actually form some more positive memories together. Trust really only comes with consistency and reliability over time, and when you have had your trust broken, you are naturally suspicious. So you need to be realistic about this. There's no quick fix for it. Really prioritize having open, honest conversations and having lots of positive experiences together so that those new memories predominate and can help accelerate this process of rebuilding trust. You say you're both doing so much better together now, so it sounds like you're on a good trajectory. It's important to forgive and move on from the past and ask God to help you do that. Leo says he has a wife that is too stressed to deal peacefully with difficult situations. Well, in that case, then you want to find out how she is stressed. When does it happen most? What makes her most stressed? What does she find makes it worse? What does she feel she would need to be able to handle it better? Often with stress feeling overwhelming, it's not just an acute incident, but it's chronic. So she is in the background constantly feeling overwhelmed. And then when what you would call a difficult situation comes up that you want her to be able to approach in a sensible, more confident way, she can't because she's already beyond capacity without a difficult situation. So instead of focusing on the difficult situations, what you should do is focus on everyday life. Lower her stress levels there so she has more of a reserve, more capacity to be able to handle with the difficult situations when they come. The other thing is, really you as the man should be the one who is shielding her from difficult situations. So see if you can solve them without actually bringing them to her at all. Lower her stress levels in everyday life generally, and try not to involve her in the difficult situations unless absolutely necessary. Really important skill. Radagast asks about finding a wife. Well, this isn't really the channel for that. This is a patriarchy channel for guys who already have wives, but you want to look in church first of all and think about making connections in your area. You can also just go to places where the kind of values that you believe in are being embodied. So look for communities that embody the values that you care about, and you're likely to meet someone there who also cares about those values. That's the best way to do it. Lex Invictus asks, should the husband be in control of his wife's finances? Well, this is an interesting framing to the question because there's just family money, okay? Ultimately, God is the provider for your family, and the money that you earn as a man is the family's money, not your money, right? If your wife is at home looking after the kids so that you can go out and provide for your family, this is money that she's helping you to earn because you're not having to pay childcare or the rest of it. So she's supporting you and facilitating you in being able to go out and get that money for the family. So reject this liberal idea that the individual is the fundamental building block. So it's your money that you are sharing with her and your kids on that view. But that's wrong-headed. There's just family money. So all you're asking here really is, should the family have a plan for how the family money is being spent? And what is the husband's role as the leader in that? And the answer is, of course, there should be a plan. Now, there's a couple of ways in which you might like to approach this. It's just a question of basic personal finance. So it might be something like keep it to 60% maximum on necessities. So that's going to be things like your mortgage or your rent or your utilities bills, your car, perhaps, your groceries. Think of all the stuff that are necessities. Then you might say, okay, that's capped at 60%. Then we might allow 30% for some conveniences, some fun experiences, going out, that kind of thing. And then maybe 10%, right, for saving, actually building wealth, because wealth is the money you don't spend. So that 60, 30, 10 split is just a standard recommendation. Some people prefer something like 50, 30, 20 if you're prioritizing building wealth more. Obviously, if you are retaining 20% of everything you earn and saving or investing, then you're going to build wealth a lot faster than someone who's only retaining 10%. So try and get somewhere on that spectrum. Now, if we've got that 30%, which is discretionary spending, so for conveniences, you then have to think, your wife is your best friend. How much do you want to allocate for her each month? And talk with her about that. What kinds of things does she value? How much do they cost? And then fit that into the overall plan. And be generous, because you have a duty to treat your wife honorably and generously, just like the Catechism of Trent says. And a lot of marriage problems come from arguing about money, right? Couples who argue about money at least once a week are far more likely to get divorced. And often it's due to a lack of clarity. So what is the plan for the family finances? Where do you want to get to? By when? What does that actually involve practically day to day? Get the days right, get the weeks right, get the months right, and then the years are going to take care of themselves. So have a plan. A man without a plan is not a man. And your wife needs to fit into that. You need to have a conversation with her about why you're spending things in this way. Because really, money talks, as the saying goes, and it tells you about what you value, okay? People spend money on what they value, and people value what they prioritize. So it's an important area to get connected with your wife on fully. C99K5S asks, dealing with her insecurities about my past. Well, what kinds of insecurities, right? Ultimately, this is going to be a trust question again. So you need to ask her what she's worried about, what she would need to feel able to trust you, and then work towards actually showing her that. But like with all trust issues, there's no quick fix for it. You're going to need to show consistency and reliability for a long period of time to be able to actually show her that you are trustworthy. It's only natural that she is suspicious, right? It's because she's not stupid. She knows how you behaved in the past, and that is a pretty good indicator of what some of your weaknesses are. So she's going to be bearing that in mind to protect herself from getting hurt. And I don't know whether you're engaged or married, but if you're not, you're also sending her a signal that you're not actually that serious about her. So she's obviously going to be feeling insecure about that. So just try to put yourself in her shoes and really empathize with how you would look to her and why that might be frightening, and find out what she needs to be able to move forward with confidence. Zedez says, my hope is that one day soon you will have thousands of subscribers. All the best from Quebec, Canada. Thanks for the kind comment. Best way you guys can help this channel grow is by leaving comments and questions and sharing it with people who you think might benefit from it. Chum Bucket 66. Should a husband be concerned if he cannot make his wife achieve a full vaginal orgasm from penetration during sex? Or is it fine to rely exclusively on clitoral orgasms to satisfy her? I know there are individual differences to account for in women's genital sensitivity, but it's nevertheless widely accepted that full vaginal orgasms are the real deal, while clitoral orgasms, though pleasurable, fall short of activating the full range of female pleasure. So, is the inability to have a vaginal orgasm something the husband should notice and try to fix? Or should he throw in the towel and chalk it up to his wife's unique anatomy? Look, the fact that you're asking this question shows that you know that it matters. This is clearly niggling at you, and it should do, because you can go on PubMed, you can just spend a few seconds on the internet, and you can find out that this actually does matter, okay? The correlation between vaginal orgasms and marital satisfaction is clear. So you know that it matters. It's why you're asking the question. The bit that's really interesting here is, should the husband chalk it up to his wife's unique anatomy? Now, that might not be the case, okay? It might actually be to do with your anatomy or the interaction between you and her. And this is going to be a case of experimentation so that you can actually learn more about each other to get the outcome that you want. So right away, I can see that the tendency here is just to say that it's her fault. Now, this might hurt your feelings, but there probably are some guys in the world that she might not have this problem with, okay? Now, for you to be able to actually get the success you're looking for in this area, you're going to have to get to know her better, what she enjoys more, and improve communication. Writing it off as an impossibility and blaming it on her isn't the right way to go about it. So persevere, have confidence, and improve communication, and then see where you get to. All right, good mixture of questions today. We've got another one at the top from David Anderson 84, talking about my book review of Jack Donovan's The Way of Men. And he says that it is insane to leave out the core of human society. The family is the fundamental structure and building block of every culture. And this is because I was saying that Donovan's book, although it has some truth in it, forgets that ultimately men compete against each other according to rules and standards that are actually set and shaped by women. This is just a really basic point about Darwinian sexual selection. And we don't even need to bring in macro evolution to think about this. Just micro evolution is sufficient, and not even natural selection, but sexual selection, which is basically women help to shape men because of the kind of men that they pick. So that was the point I was making, that it's insane to leave out the role of women in deciding what kinds of male traits and behaviors are best for the family, right? Best to have in husbands and fathers. David continues, I will say that rites of passage are divided between the two sexes, and that there is such a thing as a division between the sexes. Obviously, right? Common sense. Men lead boys into masculinity, and women lead girls into femininity. But it must be observed that it is fathers leading sons into adulthood, and mothers leading daughters into adulthood. Yeah, it's true that the mother has a bigger impact on the daughter's sexual morality than the father does, for example. So you're onto a good point there. And what I like in what you're saying is that our being male or female isn't just a biological fact. It's also a calling to a particular social role, right, within the family. So the essence of manhood is the potential for fatherhood. The essence of womanhood is the potential for motherhood. So masculinity is unlocked fully by fatherhood. Femininity is unlocked fully by motherhood. So these are roles that we actually, by doing them, discover ourselves more fully in. Does that make sense? So when you become a husband, a father, when you become a wife, a mother, what you actually see is the gradual flowering of your masculinity or your femininity as you work on the virtues necessary for those roles. Right? If you've enjoyed the discussion today, you might like to check out our support community at patriarchy.com/start. This is only $9 a month. We're up to 270 members. We've got a short-term goal of 300 members. Obviously, the more guys are in the group, the more valuable it becomes because there's more guys to connect with and learn from. So we cover questions like how to lead without using words, how to navigate arguments, how to uphold boundaries, how to protect and provide emotionally, how to permanently break out of bad habits, how to make her fun and flirty again, how to lead financially, and how to get her in shape. So for guys who are looking for courses to be able to guide them through some of these areas, you're looking for accountability with weekly calls from me, and also looking to make some friends who can help support you on this path, that's the place for you. Patriarchy.com/start. If you're curious about any of the content covered in today's video and would like to know more about specific topics mentioned, put your question into the comments and I'll answer it tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, share, hit the notification button. Let's get this message out there. The world needs more strong husbands and fathers. Stronger husbands and fathers, stronger families. Stronger families, stronger societies. All right, take care.